Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright, so if you guys are not aware, version 1.3 is coming in a couple of days. This event currently, Nightmare at the Green Lake, this event is going away at the time of me recording this video in 3 days, 8 hours. So make sure you guys are aware of that. Everything is going to go away very soon. Now let's talk about version 1.3. What can we expect between the two characters and who should you be pulling for if you are pulling for any of them between KAALA, BAUNA and Shaman. Now first things first, based upon the overall tier list, as you can see right here, both characters are really strong and high up in the tier list. If you are looking for a mineral type DPS, KAALA BAUNA is going to be there, present. She's probably going to be one of the strongest mineral type DPS in a long time. Now as for Shaman, he has a different role. He's much more of a debuffer, alright, in terms of the support, and he's able to amplify damage, so he's going to be much more of a supporter. If you're looking for a beast type supporter, Shaman is going to be the character that's coming later in version 1.3. So KAALA BAUNA is coming first, followed by Shaman. They swap it around for the CN servers order, if you guys are not aware. Now let's talk a little bit more about each of them individually. But first things first, before we talk about KAALA BAUNA, we also need to talk about the recent character that came out in CN. I'm sure some of you guys might be aware of her. This girl right here, Niangzi, she's a 6-star mineral DPS character. Now unfortunately, she has very similar role with KAALA BAUNA. They are both the same element, they are both same in terms of DPS, and I will argue that both their kits are almost kind of similar. However, Niangzi is going to be the first limited character in Reverse 1999. That means she will not be added to the standard banner unlike the other characters. She's going to be unique in terms of that, and also she is extremely broken. Alright, based on the testing that I've seen so far, circulating around YouTube and also Bilibili, right? She has been shown to be extremely strong. Now for a lot of players, especially free-to-play players, this is something that you have to decide. Is she going to be a replacement for KAALA BAUNA? Now she just came out in CN recently. That's the problem, right? We don't have enough time or data to basically compare both these characters, but from an early impressions from what I've seen from the CN players, majority of them seems to have said that she actually might be the better character, and you know, she might straight up just replace KAALA BAUNA, which is something that I think can be a little bit worrying if you are trying to pull for version 1.3 right now, KAALA BAUNA, because there's a chance that she might get power creep. So make sure you guys are aware of that, just putting that out there, right? So they are both 6-star mineral characters. So let's talk about currently right now in the roster. Mineral type is probably the least in terms of characters, right? Character rosters. If I go right here to Pritwen's tier list, let me sort by just minerals specifically. Eternity is going to be one of the few mineral type, and also Pickles, right? So Pickles, Eternity, if you're just looking at 6 stars, not counting 5 stars. So these are the one that maybe can do some damage for you. Now if you have Eternity, there's a chance that you don't need KAALA BAUNA as much, but other than that, the next DPS is going to be a 4-star, which is Monlicht. There's not even a 5-star DPS for mineral type. So there's definitely a slot for KAALA BAUNA for a lot of teams actually. Now what is she all about and what makes her so strong? Now keep in mind, she is going to be a very AP heavy character in terms of you are trying to basically make her move as much as you can and also try to get your ultimate off. So let's start off with her skills. Alright, she has 2 skills. One is Enchanted Strike, one is Mythical Meteors. As you can see, Enchanted Strike, simple, alright, 1 target attack, deals 180% mental damage. After you cast the spell, you basically gain this thing called a 1 Saturn that gives you penetration rate plus 6% each. So you can basically stack 3 planets on your character. So basically you're all about stacking this special planets effect on her. So she can stack up to 3, alright, that's going to be 6 times 3 is 18% penetration rate, right? And then on the other one, Mythical Meteors. So this one is mass attack, alright, deals mental damage to 2 enemies. After you cast the spell, you gain 1 Mars. So Mars grants leech rate 6%, and you can stack up to 3 planets each time. Now for the ultimate, this is where it gets a little bit different, right? This is going to be a single target attack. She's basically going to cast an ability that removes all the current planets on her. It's going to deal 600% mental damage and gains 2 Full Moon that grants Incantation Might plus 6% each. So she's going to get 2 of these stack the Full Moon. So up to 3 planets can be stacked. Now Full Moon is ideally, this is going to be like your game plan with her. You want to cast Full Moon as soon as you can because this is going to be the best buff for her. The Incantation Might 6%. Now as you can see, The planet that she can cast is going to be Saturn, Mars, and full moon. Alright, so these are all the things that she casts, and all of them shares the same limit. Planet effects are stackable and cannot be dispelled. So Saturn gets penetration rate, Mars gives leech rate, full moon gives incantation might. Alright, so casting the ultimate is going to be the game plan for her. Ideally, if you use her, she's going to be very, what do you want to call this, AP heavy. She's going to be very selfish. So if you use her, you don't want to use her with another sub DPS. Ideally, you want to use her with full supports that doesn't need to use or cast their spells as much as her. So keep that in mind. So let's look at the insight. So when the planet is removed, she gains one of the following effects based on the type of planets removed. It's going to be either Saturn Divination, Mars Divination, or Full Moon Divination. Now Saturn Divination is going to get penetration rate 12%, Mars Divination leech rate 12%, and Full Moon Divination incantation might 12%. So like I said earlier, you want to try to get her ultimate again as soon as you can, because of the incantation might 12% is going to be the best one for her moving forward, right? So ideally, this is going to be her objective moving forward. She can be a little bit finicky to use. For a lot of players that are maybe like slightly newer to the game, you might have to learn to rotate her a little bit, right? Critical rate 10% is going to be for her Insight 2, and her Insight 3, when she casts ultimate, she gains one effect based on the planet with the largest number removed. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Her Insight 3 gives her bonus abilities. Alright, so if she removes Saturn, she gets Enchanted Strike for a follow-up attack on the target. Alright, Mars will give her Mythical Meteors for a follow-up attack on the target. And when she removes Full Moon, she enters Empower Incantation 2. Alright, for 1 or 2 rounds. So Empower Incantation 2, basically when the round begins, 2 random incantations gain +1 star. So this is going to basically synergize with her Incantation Might. Again, very very good. Alright, it's going to stack a lot, and she basically, if you guys play Utu, you probably know like how broken Incantation Might can be. It's something that works on your spells, anything except for your ultimate. If you are looking to pull a mineral type DPS character, I would say she's probably going to be one of the better ones for you. Now, very simple, if you're deciding to pull for her, should you pull for her? If you have Eternity, you probably don't need her as much. Eternity probably is going to be able to fill that role for you. I have heard that a lot of CN players prefer to use her over Eternity because Eternity seems to have fallen off a little bit on the CN server. That's what I've been hearing, right? One more thing is also, it depends on whether you're pulling for Shaman. If you're not pulling for Shaman, there's a chance that, yeah, she's going to be the better character to pull for most players, right? Now, as for her best Psycube, in version 1.3, the free Psycube Carrot of a Heart is going to be one of the better ones for her. Alright, as you can see, this one is going to give you, if the round ends, if the carrier gains at least 3 Moxie, when casting the next ultimate, your ultimate might is going to get 8%. If the carrier gains 4 Moxie, the effect is increased to 12%. So she will be able to benefit from this very very easily. Now let's talk about Shaman, because I think Shaman is also a very very interesting character, and this guy might be the better ones to get if you are a whale. And what do I mean by whale? So let's talk about his kit. Why this guy is going to be better overall. If you can see, this guy is a beast type support. So the ultimate is going to be a mass attack that deals 250% reality damage. So he's going to be a reality based attacker. And this attack gives critical rate plus 20%. Excess critical rate is converted to critical damage, and also deals additional 250% reality damage to the main target. So basically it's like a 500% reality damage to the main target, and then 250% to everyone else. Very very high multiplier right there, right? So as for Apprentice's Dance, so this is going to be one of a spell. You can see it does reality damage. It's a 1 target attack, and also give the caster 1 stack of Nature's Blessing, which basically, so if you get 5 stacks, you are able to get an equal number of Moxie. Very very cool. That means you are able to cast your ultimate quite often. Now the last one, Spirit Medium, this is his one more skill. This is what makes him really really good as a supporter, right? If you're trying to basically compete with Cornblum, Shaman basically replaces Cornblum in a lot of teams, alright, because of this particular ability. Mass debuff, alright, this is going to affect everyone, not just a single target. Damage taken increased by 10%. Reality and mental defense minus 15% for all enemies for 2 rounds. Now damage taken, debuff is going to be very very broken. As you can see, this goes up to 30%, right? Now for his insight, each stats down status on the target, the attack enjoys damage dealt plus 8%. So the more debuffs the enemy has, the more he's able to do damage overall. And this goes up to 24% damage. Very, very broken character. You can pair him with another debuffer. Alright, overall, when the caster enters battle, you are going to get 2 stacks of Nature's Blessing. That's going to be something that helps him a lot, especially when he's trying to cast his ultimate faster. Nature's Blessing is going to inline gives you more Moxie. Now inside 3, at the start of every 2 rounds, he's going to gain 1 stack of Nature's Blessing. Again, this is going to boost his damage even further. Now, what makes Shaman extremely whale friendly, I don't know if that's even a term, is how strong he is for his portrait. If you are getting him for his portrait, this is where you gotta pay attention, especially if you are a whale, alright? So you can see, portrait 1, Inheritance of Wisdom, basically is this particular one, the inside one, right? Change to when the caster enters battle, gains 3 additional stack of Nature's Blessing. Alright, so that's like whatever, right? From 2 stacks to 3 stacks. But Portrait 2, this is where it gets really crazy. He's gonna be a DPS instead of a support, because straight up, change the effect critical rate to main target plus 60%. That is a lot. 60% is a lot of increase right here. So this is going to be for his ultimate, instead of 20% crit rate, it's going to be 60% crit rate every time he casts his ultimate. And keep in mind, excess crit rate for Shaman is able to be converted to crit damage. So that means he's going to do a lot of damage, especially if you build him with a bunch of side cube that can, you know, provides him with the crit rate necessary. He's gonna be just straight up broken. And moving on even further, if you are willing to go all the way to Portrait 5, this is what makes him insanely whale friendly. Alright, so changes critical rate to main target to 100%. So that means any bonus critical rate that you have on him from side cube or from the resonance stats, that's going to be converted to crit damage, and he's probably one of the strongest damage dealer at Portrait 5. Now, he does compete with a lot of other damage dealer despite being a support. I know getting to Portrait 5 is going to be super expensive, not everyone's going to do it, but I'm just putting this out there. Based on what I've been seeing on a lot of CN players, you know, Portrait 5 is what pushes him to make him extremely strong, a very potent DPS if you're looking for a beast type, a reality damage character, right? Now here's the thing though, should you pull for him if you can't get him to Portrait 2 or Portrait 5? I think he's still really strong, but you gotta treat him like a supporter before Portrait 2. Alright, Portrait 2 basically is what makes him extremely... he starts competing with a lot of other DPS, and then Portrait 5, he's straight up just becomes one of the best DPS in the game. But before Portrait 2, he's probably going to, you know, treat him like a supporter, treat him like any other supporter, pretty much. If you intend to play Reverse 1999 in the long run, this guy will be added to the standard banner later on, right? So that's something to consider. There's a chance that you are going to get copies of him from the standard banner. So that's going to be something that I wouldn't sweat it too much personally, but I will leave that up to you. For me, I do think that KAALA Bauna is going to be a better pull, because if you don't have Eternity, she will be able to help you fill that role in the mineral type DPS. But as for beast type, it really depends, right? I think most players, a lot of players have Melania, and there's a chance that you don't really need to pull for another beast type DPS. Now as for support, do you really need another support to help your Melania? Because the truth is, there's a lot of other support that can fill that role with Pickles and a few others. It really depends on who you have. Regardless, I don't think you will go wrong with either one of these. Personally, I feel like it's hard to say which one is going to be better for you. You gotta look at your own account and see from there. If you think you lack a mineral type DPS and you're not gonna get an Eternity for a while more, consider KAALA Bauna. If not, maybe Shaman for a good supporter, aka buffer. For me, I do have Pickles, I do have Lee, so I don't really see the point of me getting Shaman. Now if you don't have those characters, you already have plenty of main DPS and you're looking more of a support, then Shaman is going to be good for you. Now with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. I can't wait for version 1.3 coming in a couple of days. Let me know what you guys think of Shaman or KAALA Bauna. Are you guys pulling for either of them? Take care, subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like. See you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.